Hello everyone, how you doing today? Thought I would show you an update on where I'm at with this CV, the Trebuchet HAC, which is Heavy Assault Cruiser. Um, the problem I've got with the ship right now is it is at first not kind of going to fit the bill as what it was supposed to be, and that's due to a lot of CPU things. But anyway, making a lot of progress on it. The whole ship is textured. Now I'll probably look over it some more and try to spiff it up a little bit. I'm trying a different color scheme. It's kind of it's. I'm trying to tie in the original look of the old school ships like the Perseus and Nemesis with the newer style or the second style human ship look, which had more of the white and the black. And this is sort of like kind of taking like a bit of both and trying to put it together. And I kind of like it. I think it's making it look a little more military, future military maybe, probably because of the little darker tones on it. So I'm pretty happy with that, and yeah, and I'm happy it's. I went through the monotony of texturing. I made a few body changes along the way as well. This section over here was altered from the original look, and basically the point I was trying to do here was to tie this angle in with the angle that was on the back of the ship. Before it was different, and it went inward here more, and it was weird. It just felt like the shaping was a little off. And now when you get the top view, it kind of looks to me like more coherent that way. So that was one of those like body design things I was trying to fix up. And other measures, I think I talked about when I was building this earlier too, the breakup, and that I needed a smooth like dividing line to tie things in to give it more cohesion, because I was trying to like really chop it up with a lot of different shapes and shape parts and things like that. So I think that it ties in a little bit better too. I think that consistency of having this even line, black or like dark line across here, did help with that. So yeah, other than that, I've got quite a lot of turrets not on the ship right now. Um, I've been fighting CPU a lot, and if you guys are building one of these combat CVs, I'm sure you're probably understand that, especially if you tried anything larger. Um, so this is hitting size class 5 now, but just hitting size class 5, 4.54. So it's all right. I've been reinforcing the front of the ship, and I started working on the interior. Now I've been starting from the front back. I wanted to get all the like figure out what I was going to do about the defense and how I was going to lay out parts and things like that. So in the ship, let me just bump through a wall here a minute. At the very front, on where you can go in the ship, is kind of like a torpedo room, and this is actually launchers. So I got these blast doors, and these are where the four front launcher positions are. Now, two reasons I put in the blast doors and this contraption, which I kind of thought was kind of fun anyway, but is it's functionable, because when you get the ship, it's not going to come with these launchers. And say you do put them in, and now you can do it from inside the ship. And also, if you're out in combat, you can, back away from combat. You can, open up these doors and repair from inside the ship. But not just the launchers on this ship. In fact, like literally all the thrusters and the other launchers and everything will be repairable from inside the ship. Down here, there was another blast door. This is just kind of like just a front room kind of in here. I don't want to put anything in there, but it's armored in front of that there. On this top part, it's extremely armored. Kind of see well, maybe not extremely, but quite a bit. And the walls are thickened. double layers. I kind of used a lot of like this leg shot block behind the other hull block. Some places it goes a little thicker than 2, um, but averaging that. So inside, essentially, you got this room, so you can access that. Up over here, you can access your lift thruster. Down the elevator, you can access your front 2 thruster areas. I got to do some more texture in there. And additional strafing thruster locations. So basically you can repair all your thrusters. And let's see, then heading back, I got fuel along here. It's pretty thick, especially if the fuel goes in, the hull goes out. I got a weight problem with this ship too, and it's like, yeah, there's places I would like to add more, but weight's an issue, and it's something I gotta kind of like moderate. So I'm a little worried about weight, and I'll tell you about that in just a little bit here. But um, also the other parts like warp core, you'll be able to access that, and the shield back over here, Daxa tank. These main parts are placed towards the center of the hull. It wasted space, of course, but it's for keeping things away from splash damage. However, yeah, these fuel tanks are only 2 blocks. Well, I guess there's 1 block, 2 blocks. Yeah, I guess those are only 2 blocks deep too. Yeah, but yeah, it's at least it's back in this area is where the fuel is kind of right now. Maybe I'll remove some of those and figure out locations in the back of the ship to dump some too. Um, Down below here there is a core room, and this I'm trying to protect pretty good. Below there's 3 block rows, kind of. I guess there's a row. Yeah, it's getting kind of rough, but it is quite protected though. I mean, and it's down under rows of stuff from all sides. It's and kind of eased back, so you'll have room for more quantum cores, which I think, you know, definitely are gonna want. I think, but. Yeah, so there's that. And I went with the dual generator, or the 2 big generators instead of the 1 and the 3 small that I had in here last time. I was figuring actually it was going to probably need a couple more small ones. And by the time you add in 5 small ones, you're much better off putting in another second big one. However, it's again kind of a CPU hit. Now another thing I did do save a little CPU is rather than putting in the advanced warp core, I put in a standard one, which is 40,000 less CPU, and you can upgrade it very easily. So there is that. Now, a side effect to this room and the way it's set up is I'm going to have to keep this a oxygen-free zone. I normally wouldn't do that, but there's 2 reasons for it right now. And reason 1 are the blast doors, for whatever reason, don't stop oxygen flow. And number 2, turrets that I can't put in the ship by stock. Or not turrets, I'm sorry, thrusters that I cannot put in the ship stock are going to leave an open air hole. Now, I could try to like run all these kind of little doors or something. You know, I'll investigate that idea to see if I can seal it, but I don't think it's important necessarily. It's just, you know, you're only going to be in this area for maintenance and wear a helmet, you know? It's a warship, man. It's not a yacht. This time, at least. Okay. So that's where I'm at on that. Now where I'm having issues is CPU. Currently on the current configuration, I'm within CPU. At 1.942 million, but I have a lot of turrets removed right now. I have the 2 front artillery turrets, I guess one of the turrets up here. It's weird. I have no turrets on the bottom of the ship at all right now, and no launchers installed. And I'm worried about thrust power. So Thrust power, unfortunately, with the extra weight added to the front by doing the bulk up of stuff everywhere, um, it is heavy, and therefore in space, I think it's hitting a maximum speed of 84 ms, both front and reverse. So that's not what I wanted. I want 100. Um, so that kind of leaves me with like three options. One, I deal with it. It won't be 100 right now. Two, I make it go 100 forward by altering this area and jamming in some maybe large thrusters back here, kind of weird like. Um, Even though I think a extra large could, well, maybe, yeah, probably fit, I think, in there. Um, so that's an option, but that is a huge CPU killer. So much so that I could probably hardly put any turrets on this thing at all. Um, so you know, that's ultimately how I would build it if the CPU wasn't limiting me this way. And I don't want to, a change like that. It's like I don't know what to do at this point. That's what it needs to make it work the way it should work. But that requires altering the body, and I'm not exactly sure what to do with that. I don't think it will be necessarily a nice thing for looks, but who knows? Maybe it works. Um, and it's just this constant battle of CPU, and it's just like, ah, man. And all, I mean, also too, I'm leaving out like strafing thrusters and down thrusters, and I would like to have more lift thrust. So I mean, pretty much all the directions I think could stand to be increased some. I'm allowing for some, but I don't know. I just, I wanted it to be a certain thing, and it's like the constraints of everything are just killing that. I guess maybe another thing is, to pull off even more turrets, and keep in mind some of these turrets are going to have to like be shifted over to the bottom side of this too. Um, so that might be an option, and then get the hull uh, thrust the way it should be, I think. But man, it's gonna cost that CPU badly, and it might even force me to put in more power, which is gonna hurt badly too. So I gotta draw a line for now. And I think I'll just leave it the way it is with the thrust, but I will try to add in a housing maybe over here, and maybe move this turret mount out more somehow. Kind of mess with the shape I was trying to do there, but maybe it'll be all right. That could work, I guess. So I'm just talking to myself. I've been a little perplexed on this, and it's just bugging me, and it's just like, man, I wish there was more CPU. Um, at start, so you can get something like this kind of up and running a little easier. But turrets can be removed, but I just don't want to. I do not want to. Want the turrets. So over here, there is the Rhogar Helical Pod. This was just sent to me. I just noticed this before recording, and basically they want to put this on, I think, Discord, or the for builders to use, and I just wanted to know what I would do to like texture it, or something like that. And um, I don't know the style. Um, I know these are like the xenoblocks here and stuff too, so I don't even really know what to do with that. It's with the body. Oh, and this is okay. It's concrete. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Depending that the options that you got, because the materials used on it are rough. I don't really have a scheme set up. Sort of Krill was about the only thing I could think of that would paint on this decently. Maybe Scar, um, like or that type of look, like metal. Like say you go with this, and then let's do a replace all like that, and then um, go through and I don't know, try to add in some different textures here to like kind of like give it a little bit of variety, I guess. Maybe like something like that by the windows. Maybe try to find a formation. I see that doesn't work over here. Oops. But yeah, it's kind of I think maybe that would be the route to go with this. And as in these, um, Scar does use some. Well, it does use this texture for some texture lights in there, but this one could probably fit to find maybe a color that matches somewhat. And that's one idea. I mean, uh, granted, yeah. I mean, yeah. I think that would probably do the job. And then yeah, wouldn't stick out quite as crazy like in those areas. Um, let's see what other options. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of what I would think I would do with it. And I mean, if you really want to like try to trick it out a little bit, there are some textures here that work pretty good too. Like this one here, you do like a maybe a darker shade. Um, do something like that occasionally, or I wouldn't try to do it solid though. That breakup between like one thing and another kind of I think will look better than if you had just like solid this or solid that. Just a thing I usually try to do myself. And let's see. Oh, yeah, you kind of get the idea. And some other color tones too can always work. Like you had all this, and maybe it's just you took this like a row here and say, hey, we're gonna make that like a different shade here, and then you could do a different shade like below it. Oh, like maybe a dark line. Or but try to line some of this up to some of the shape. Like maybe this is a black row part here. And this is like light. But yeah, stuff like that can kind of look cool, but it just requires a lot of playing around and experimenting. Like, oh, let's try that. What is, what if that's white? No, and that no, or change it to something else. But yeah, I could spend a couple hours just trying to texture it up and everything. Um, but I mean, if you wanted to do something like that and try to get spiff it up, there's a lot of little tricks you can do with this. Here's a nice one too. Like I don't have the Scar palette in here right now, but um, this these particular angled blocks here have a nice surface texture area with like a texture light. I do like using those for that reason. So you can just see what I like do something like that around the edges. Try to line them up to some kind of formation like that. That's another option. Maybe give it a little bit more intense red, um, to match the other stuff. Um, but I think that would, with the material usage on here, I think of what I played with at least, like, with the different texture schemes, I think that Scar would work the best on this. And the shape is fitting with Scar too, where it doesn't really work with Creel too much. Creel also paints pretty nice on concrete, and can use xenoblocks. Well, anyway, that's pretty much everything I had for today. I just wanted to show those two things and take a look at that. Uh, and just curious on your thoughts and opinions on this. What would you do? Would you go for the additional thrust and then take off more turret stock, or would you and quite a bit more turret stock, by the way. I'd probably have to pull another 10 off it, which you're gonna kind of start sucking. So that's I'm just curious. Anyway, y'all have yourself a good day. I will talk to you later.